appreciate your patience. We got some ball players walking around here today, so spend some time with them. But really good day scrimmage-wise, some really good competitive periods all around. Definitely fun for our group. I'm definitely seeing improvement across the board in all phases. So we're going to open it up.
You guys aren't doing ones and twos, but considering how many new faces are on the offensive line, how have you seen that group kind of gelling so far this spring?
Yeah, some good, some bad, right? Kind of the same answer you probably always get from me, right? But there's, we had some explosive runs today, had some errors in protection, had some positives. So that's the piece about practice, man. It's about developing and continuing to grow.
You mentioned some explosive runs. Who had some of those, and any defensive plays that stand out, takeaways, or?
Yeah, a little bit of both. I mean, there was 2 interceptions today. I mean, several of our backs had positive runs. I can't name every single one of them right now, but there was good ebb and flow throughout practice. You know, and finishing off with a competitive 2-minute series there at the end as well. So overall, good day.
How would you describe the overall command of the offense the quarterbacks have shown from scrimmage 1 to now scrimmage 2?
Yeah, I'm just seeing growth, right? I'm seeing guys, take steps and move in the right direction. I've seen our coaches even say, okay, hey, there's something we got to challenge ourselves to give a little bit more to these guys because they're handling it well. They're able to process it.
I want to talk to you about Kingston. You guys put him in a big role last year in the Big Ten Championship game, put him on Warren. What kind of gave you that confidence in him to throw him out there as a true freshman without a lot of game experience?
Yeah, just what he does every day in practice. That's the part that we get to see. And Kingston's going to be an unbelievable player for us. He's had a really good spring so far, but, he earned those moments by what he did in practice. And you come here as a talented guy, and if you're good enough, you're old enough. We say that all the time. So as a freshman, we had confidence in him going in there to do his job.
Sasha talked earlier in the spring about deliberately kind of dialing back a little bit with defense because of the lack of experience you use in the session. At this point in the spring, how far in the install, like compared to a year ago, where it would have been more experience for just how much the defense is in and how much you guys want that?
Yeah, to be real, we have most of our stuff in at this point, and they're handling that well. When they prove that they can't handle it, that's when you really back it up. And we were probably a little bit slower with our process as far as install, but at this point, we have almost everything in.
You had Taylor Lewan and Will Compton in here last week, kind of spending some time with the players and with yourself. What was that experience like, and what do you think your players took away from that?
Yeah, it was great. Those guys are 2 guys that have done it at the highest level, played at the highest level. And they're doing an unbelievable job kind of in what they're in now, right? But they're fun guys to be around. I think our players like to lean on the experience that those guys have. And they bring flavor and juice, when they step out on the field or in the weight room, which is fun for our players to be around. Yeah, I feel great. Feel great about it. I think we got a good group. We're getting a lot of experience there.
Staying with that group, Jerry Mixon, a guy that's been in and out, but he's played every year. What's just kind of his growth so far?
Yeah, I mean, he's become more and more comfortable out there on the field for us. He's a guy that's around the ball consistently. He's always been a guy that, creates turnover-worthy plays, and he's communicating really well, so he's had a really good spring so far.
How much has Evan Stewart been able to do lately, and just what is the receiver group, the rest of the depth of that group look like here in the scrimmage setting?
Yeah, love our depth there. We got a lot of guys I think that can play winning football, and Evan's certainly a part of that.
Last question, James. Well, we won't get you before the draft, but so a couple of draft-related ones, Dan. For one, what significance of it all do you place on Josh and Jordan being the first of the guys who you would have signed, being those for that first wave of guys going in, Josh potentially in the first round, and for Terrence specifically, the first tight end here to be drafted in 9 years to change the culture of that room going forward, set a new standard?
Yeah, I think a lot of those guys have established what it means to be at Oregon, and now to get them, see them get the opportunity to carry on their dreams is really exciting. Josh being a guy that was in that first signing class with us and put himself in an unbelievable position because of the way he worked every day. Terrence, Jordan, those guys all have the same traits. When they stepped on the field, they worked, right? And when they were in the practice watching film, they worked, right? And now they're getting to reap those benefits. Really excited for those guys.
Good there, Coach.
Thank you.